This is one of the great tricks that I think the sexual revolution pulled on the American populace, which is this idea that, like, well, okay, these marriages were fundamentally, they were maybe even violent, but certainly they were unhappy, and so getting rid of them and making it easier for people to shift spouses like they change their underwear, that's going to make people happier in the long term. And maybe it worked out for the moms and dads, though I'm skeptical, but it really didn't work out for the kids of those marriages, and I think that's what all of us should be honest about, is we've run this experiment in real time, and what we have is a lot of very, very real family dysfunction that's making our kids unhappy.
2020 election denier and current Ohio Republican Senator J.D. Vance thinks that you should stay in an abusive marriage. It's better for everyone, including the kids, if you just try to work it out. Vance, seen speaking at a high school here, of all places, claims that we have made marriage so easy to ruin through the sex revolution that it is as easy to divorce someone and re-enter a new marriage as it is to change your underwear. Which is not true and ridiculous, of course, because divorce is a very time-consuming, very emotionally draining, very emotionally difficult process that costs a small fortune. And despite the fact that he claims children are better off if you stay in a marriage that's possibly abusive, studies show that that's actually not true. Children who live in a household where abusive marriages are taking place are far more likely to be at risk for physical violence on themselves. They're more likely to have mental health issues growing up, and they're more likely to have barriers between them and healthy, loving relationships when they're older. Now, understandably, because these studies are out there and because there are a plethora of studies to show that children who are in abusive households actually don't grow up better than those who have divorced parents, J.D. Vance faced a lot of backlash, and this was his response to that backlash.
In a statement to Vice News, the Vance campaign responded in part. As anyone who studies these issues knows, domestic violence has skyrocketed in recent years.
No, it hasn't.
That's the trick I reference, that domestic violence would somehow go down if progressives got what they want, when in fact, modern society's war on families has made our domestic violence situation much worse.
The advocacy for people who don't want to be a part of a nuclear family to not have to be part of a nuclear family does not a war on families make. No one's making a war on families. You can have your family. We're just saying people who don't want to be part of that standard-looking family don't have to be.
Any fair person would recognize I was criticizing the progressive frame on this issue, not embracing it. He added, I'm an actual victim of domestic violence in my life. I have seen siblings, wives, daughters, and myself abused by men. It's disgusting for you to argue that I was defending those men.
What J.D. Vance went through was horrible, and I feel bad, and he should not have had to go through that. But just because he experienced abuse does not give him the right to speak for everyone who's ever experienced abuse or will experience abuse, and claiming that women should have to stay in abusive marriages for the children when the studies show that that doesn't even really help the children is not benefiting anyone. Thank you for watching. If you got something out of this video, please like it and share it. Consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out. We're new here at The Breakdown, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.